Okay. It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the full shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Courtney DeSando.
And this is It's Movie Time.
Hello.
Hello. Well, Court, we need something to uplift our friends here who have been the prisoners of the virus. So do we have anything for them?
The modern day prisoners is really what we all are right now.
That's
prisoners
right.
of our own world, really. Wow, Shawshank Redemption, I think, was the perfect pick for this week.
All right,
Definitely.
very good. Yeah, we had decided on that. First of all, it's available on Netflix and probably several other platforms for people who are in and watching, and ordinarily we do contemporary movies.
Well, this one stands the test of time, though. Don't you think, Dad?
Oh,
it is a complete picture. From front to end, beginning on, it is just totally a perfect package.
You know, Courtney, Shawshank Redemption is the #1 movie on IMDb. That's the Internet Movie Database, for those of you who don't know, the Bible of our business.
Exactly, and it really is just perfect in the way that it takes you through the story. You're completely captivated. You're right in the moment. Your close-ups on Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman are just perfect. You're with them in there.
How about Morgan Freeman's voice?
Wow.
You think that works?
No, not at all. Not at all.
He does the narration. Look this is Shawshank State Prison, a fiction in Maine, because of course this is adapted from a Stephen King novella.
Right.
But it was filmed no more than an hour away from us at Mansfield State here in Ohio.
Yes, absolutely, and some of the most famous scenes you can find along some of the prettiest roads there in the back roads of Ohio.
Yeah, and I think you can tour the prison if I'm not wrong.
I think so. I think they have that, and if you just drive one of those roads out to Amish country, you can see the field with the stone and the big tree.
Oh,
It's
great.
right off the road.
That's great. Well, so give me the skinny of this. Why is this good for us?
I think it's good because it shows you that even when you are in a prison, and he's in a prison, and you think, oh, he didn't do it, but really when he owns the fact that he was responsible for his wife's death because he pushed her away, and that's how he ended up in prison.
He meaning?
Tim Robbins'
Tim
character. He is in there because of his own actions, and when he takes ownership of that and really makes the prison his world, is really when it becomes incredible.
And Morgan Freeman?
Being the buddy, the best friend.
He's the only one who admit that he murdered.
He says, well, you know what, I did it. Everyone else didn't do it but me, I did it.
There's a great line in there where Robin said, I didn't do it. He says, well, good, great, because everybody else here didn't do it either.
Everyone's innocent in the jail, absolutely. And really, it is a redemptive movie. It is about coming from the bad and going into the good, and you're not thinking about it as an escape movie until it happens.
Good.
The whole time you're in the jail with him.
Yes, and what it shows is that Robbins' character was formerly a vice president, a banker, and he knows his finance. So he worms his way into the psyches of the warden and guards and other prisoners and helping them financially.
And getting them the library.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the library becomes state of the art.
Right. So he does so many good things while he's in there. And you're feeling the pain because they show very physical violence, on him in the jail. They're very realistic about
it. Listen, the first part, the unromantic part of this film is the first part where he's raped several times.
Yes.
Just as we expected, we've heard that from movies and from history, that's what happens to guys when they go in there first. So that is tough. But after that, it switches to the romantic, which I guess is the biggest criticism of this film.
Right, okay. Yeah, they're all walking around at some point, and I was like, is that a library in downtown Minneapolis? Or are you in prison? Because there was a little bit too much casualness.
Oh, honey,
there.
yes, it is.
We were just walking around chatting all over the place.
And the freedom with which Morgan Freeman is able to
get in all kinds of contraband. Yeah.
So it all becomes...
Putting that aside.
And you know something, though? You're right. It is a part of the romance of the film. It is a part of that which, because the operative theme here is hope.
Right. And not to lose it.
Yes.
And he was so quiet about what he was really doing. You thought the level of what he was carving and all of the library and all those things, but really he was digging his way out.
All right, I know.
His fistful by fistful.
All of this highly improbable.
Oh, completely.
And reminding me a little bit of Silence of the Lambs with the very bad warden.
Right.
It was definitely over the top.
Yes, he was just, the warden was the most evil, the most horrible, does terrible, terrible things to him.
And all their prisoner buddies are just as sweet as can be.
The nicest guys, you're like, I want that guy, I want that group of guys to hang. They were just so wonderful, everyone was so nice.
So, there's some reason this is the most popular movie, and I think it is because of this business of hope. And we're living in this right now. We're just hoping we can, as we're recording, we're hoping that we can get out of the tyranny of this virus.
But while you can't, is what your attitude is while you're in it is what makes or breaks the experience.
Exactly.
What it is.
Doesn't this show us that you're somehow going to have to be creative and optimistic,
That's right.
even in the worst of situations?
Looking forward, making little tiny incremental steps to when it gets back to okay, and just thinking you're going to get through it. But he had to be in that place. He had to be in that place for how many decades was he in there, supposedly?
Oh my gosh, no.
Even though, of course, he didn't age a day. Tim Robbins did not age a single day.
He did not.
Morgan Freeman got very gray. But
Right, I know. But I've always loved the characters that Morgan Freeman plays. I mean, he is gifted with that voice. And he does the narration, which he was born to do.
Yeah, he was spot on, perfect Morgan Freeman. I think the reason why it's so popular is it's so satisfying. You feel like you just had a big meal, and you don't feel like there was any part of it that was left out.
That's very
You get all of the boxes marked off,
Right, that's
and
right.
a satisfying feeling in the end.
And I think for the cynics, and we certainly have many friends who are cynics about this kind of business, you have to give yourself into what director Frank Darabont is asking of you to believe, and what Stephen King has been asking you to believe, that this is possible, that rather the spirit of it is what's important. Don't try to knock it down by saying this is unrealistic, because it is unrealistic.
Of course. And I also like the part where they're talking about, you're living until you're dying, or you're dying while you're living.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
You have to just choose how you're going to get through the most terrible of times.
And easy for us to say,
Easy
of
for
course.
us to say.
I mean, I can't even think what it must be like. And so that Darabont and King give you a somewhat sugarcoating, but something that we don't deny Hollywood's ability to do.
Well, the iconic scene where Tim Robbins is standing in the river with the rain coming down and the camera is coming down from above, I think is so iconic, and it captures everything that we feel when you finally made it through 500 yards of sewage and you're free finally from this horrible place. I think everyone, if you don't get the feels at that point, you don't have feels.
That's right, and you're quite right. That poster shot of him coming out of the river,
exactly,
and
with
kind of arched.
The light shining on him.
Yes, it's a beautiful shot.
It's a beautiful shot. All the other shots are so different than that one shot.
And all my cynical friends will just raise their eyebrows at the ending.
Well, of course. Exactly. It is a little bit altruistic.
A little bit.
But I was grateful for it because it does, you have to just keep thinking even the best can possibly happen. But it is a rough one at the beginning. If you can make it through that, it's always well worth it.
Well, all right. Courtney DeSando, who, full disclosure, happens to be my daughter. And if she doesn't sound like it, then you haven't been listening. What grade would you give The Shawshank Redemption?
An absolute A. An absolute A.
And I'm going to give it an A- because of its sentimentality, but that only makes us more honest than ever. And let's all hope that people will pick this up, and you can certainly get it on Netflix and wherever else it is, and enjoy yourself an evening of hope.
Absolutely.